Okay, today we're talking about basic statistics in Microsoft Excel application. First of all, please log in into your Gmail, and after that navigate to your Moodle TDMU Edu UA domain. Click enter and log in this service using your Google credential. Use this instrument. Wait a second until downloading your disciplines list. After that, navigate to the Medical Informatics second course, Medical English. Scroll down to the topic number 5. It's a current one. And check a list of requirements. After that, we can navigate to our desktop, right click and create our working folder. Right click, new folder, make a title, for example your last name, and go in. After that, back to your Moodle and download this PDF file, this one, Task Individual Excel Statistic Calc Basics. Click this and download it, for example, directly into your working folder. Navigate to the desktop, select your working folder and click Save. After that, navigate to your desktop, to your working folder and open it. So we have two main tasks. First one, we have to create exactly the same table as described and calculate this color coefficient as described according to this equation, using the abilities of Microsoft Excel application. And second one, we have to calculate these basic statistical parameters: mean value, maximal, minimal, and so on. We can do it using built-in formulas or by combining already calculated values. So first of all, open your Microsoft Excel application, Win menu, and start typing Excel and run it. After that, you can create your book, new book, file, new, blank workbook, and continue your work. First of all, you have to save your file to prevent some damages. Navigate to the Browse, to the desktop, find down your working folder and make a title, for example your last name, or some prefix, for example basic statistics. It doesn't matter. Save, browse, desktop, your working folder, last name as a title, the title doesn't matter, and click Save to prevent some damages. So next step, we have to create exactly the same table as described. You can copy some portion of texts, copy, or use Ctrl+C shortcuts. First of all, let's count down how many columns we have. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can make a title like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Use this option, Merge and Center, to split our cells, to merge it. Double click to insert in the edit mode, and Ctrl+V to insert, like this. After that, we have merged these 3 columns and insert females, for example, or males. It depends on your variant number. Split these columns and use Merge and Center, double click, Ctrl+V. After that, we have split 2 rows, both of them. Ctrl+C, select this diapason, merge, double click, Ctrl+V, like this, and click Enter. Useful notification. If you need to insert a few rows at the same cell, you can use left click and Enter and continue typing like this. Click Enter. After that, we have copy these headers one by one. Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. So after that, we can make this font, this diapason, bold. To make it bold, select this and use this option, bold. We can center these headers. Select this diapason and use center. After that, we can have to insert scope numbers. We can do it by hand or automatically. We can insert it by hand or do it automatically, like this. Select this cell at the place of number 2 and use formula like this. Equal sign. Each equation in Excel application should be recognized as equation if it starts from the equal sign. And we can use the cell address of A4 in my case. Select it and +1 and click Enter to apply. And there is a very useful feature. We can propagate some formulas to burst diapason like this. Snap bottom left corner and drag bottom right corners and drag it. After that, we can insert some values for hemoglobin level according to your variant number. and we can insert erythrocyte level. Specify some values and click Enter to move to the next cell. Like this. But pay attention. Check this diapason, the alignment of this value. If your values aligned right, it's correct. In this case, Excel application recognizes it as numerical values because these values with the comma separators. In another case, you have to change your comma separator. For example, in my case, dot is incorrect separator. We can get some incorrect value or alignment left. Just for example, add plain character string. It's aligned left. Automatically recognized as a string and aligned left. But we have our values to be aligned right. So, if you have some problem with your values, for example, like this, you can always select diapason, right click, format cells, and select this option and use category you need, for example number and so on. In our case you can use general and correct comma separator to allow Excel application automatically detect data type. Like this. So next move, we can prettify our table. Select appropriate diapason, right click, format cells, and use option border. Use this tab, and after that we can choose the style of borderline, like this. First of all, we can make outline like this. After that, select another one, format cells, and use standard border style, and click inside like this, and click OK. Please switch on microphones. Switch off microphones. Turn off it. After that, we have to calculate this color coefficient of blood using this equation. So we can type it, we can insert it in this cell in the so-called inline form. So allocate cursor in this cell and we can insert a formula. As you remember, each formula starts from equal sign and we continue typing. As you can see, we can see division line, and there is good practice to allocate numerator and denominator into the bracket. So let's insert it. Bracket, division line like this, and bracket for denominator. Allocate cursor inside the bracket for numerator, and we can pick up hemoglobin level for the appropriate record. We have record number 1, record number 2, and so on. If we calculate value for this cell, we can pick up hemoglobin level by clicking this cell, like this. Pick up this value for appropriate record number 1, pick up this, and continue typing our denominator. We can use this. Multiply by 3. After that, we can type denominator. We have to pick up erythrocyte level. To calculate formula this, we can pick up this value, pick up this one, and multiply by 100. Multiply by 100, like this. Your equation should look like this. And click enter. And it will be automatically calculated. To propagate it down, you can snap this bottom right corner and drag it down like this. So, task number 1 is completed. Let's move to the task number 2. We have to calculate these values. It's a basic statistics values. We can use built-in formulas to perform it. So let's start from the mean value. Copy. To make a titles, we can select all first column A, click this on the title of the column, right click, insert new column like this, and you can insert an statistical parameter name into the appropriate cell. Double click, Ctrl V like this, and click enter to apply. After that, we have calculate this mean value for all appropriate data columns. We have 3 data columns: hemoglobin, erythrocyte, and color coefficient of blood. We can start typing our formula, equal sign, and after that we can copy this built-in name, Ctrl C and Ctrl V like this. So pay attention, each built-in formula is recognized as a function, and its function should have some syntax like this: name of the appropriate function and brackets. In our case, we have to specify a numerical diapason as input variable for our function average. Allocate cursor inside the brackets and select appropriate diapason, all 10 records, like this, and click enter. That's all. Mean value is automatically calculated, and we can propagate it right to automatically calculate this value for all of columns. Snap bottom right corner and drag it right like this. Excellent. And perform the same for all of these parameters. Maximal value, Ctrl C, double click, Ctrl V. Allocate cursor here. Copy this built-in function name, Ctrl C. Start your equation from the equal sign and Ctrl V. Open and close bracket. Allocate cursor inside the bracket and select appropriate diapason, all 10 records, and click enter to apply. After that, we can propagate it right. The same for minimal value, Ctrl C, double click, Ctrl V. Select, Ctrl C, equal sign, Ctrl V, open close bracket, allocate cursor inside the bracket, select appropriate diapason, click enter to apply, and propagate it right. So, first unclear moment. We have equation and we have no built-in formula. What have to do? Don't panic. We Ctrl C, double click, Ctrl V, and click enter. If we have situation when there are not enough space to your title, you can snap and column border and move it right to increase space. So we have this equation. What we have to do? As you can see, we have already calculated maximal value and minimal value. Here, this value is allocated here. Maximal value and minimal value for appropriate column. And we can use it, both of them. Equal sign, pick up maximal value minus pick up minimal value and click enter and propagate it right. So you can select this diapason and center it vertically like this, vertical centering. After that we can continue. Let's calculate a variance, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Ctrl C, equal sign, Ctrl V, bracket. Select appropriate diapason, click enter, propagate it right. The same for standard deviation, Ctrl V, Ctrl C, equal sign, Ctrl V, brackets, cursor, diapason, enter, propagate it right. Mean error, Ctrl C, double click, Ctrl V. So we have the similar situation. We have equation, but we have no built-in formula. And we can use already calculated values as well. So we need standard deviation. It's already calculated for now. And this parameter n mean how many records you have. And we have a mathematical operation square root. Interesting note for you. To calculate square root of some value or sub-equation, you can allocate it into the bracket and use built-in formula sqrt. So let's calculate it. We can pick up an standard deviation value, equal sign, pick up standard deviation, and after that we can use built-in formula sqrt, square root, division right, sqrt. As you remember, each built-in formulas is a functions, and each programmable function require input arguments. So let's pick up this value, how many scopes we have, pick up this and continue typing -1, -1, and click enter to apply, and propagand it's right, and the same for skewness. Use built-in formula, Ctrl+C, equal sign, Ctrl+V, brackets, cursor, select appropriate diapason, click enter, and propagand it's right. And the same for last one, kurtosis. Double click, Ctrl+V, Ctrl+C, equal sign, Ctrl+V, bracket, cursor inside the bracket, select appropriate numerical diapason, click enter to apply, and propagand it's right. So the second task is completed. So you have additional task number 3. Don't forget to save your file to prevent some damages. Let's perform the same but automatically using abilities of the Microsoft Excel application. First of all, you have to add some add-on. Navigate to the file, options, add-ins, Excel add-ins, go, and use checkboxes Analysis ToolPak and Solver add-in for the future. We have to use this add-on, Analysis ToolPak. Use checkbox and click OK and install it into your system. And after that, it will be appeared into your data menu option, Data Analysis ToolPak. Let's perform the same but automatically. Use Data Analysis ToolPak and Descriptive Statistics option and click OK. And we can use these options, these parameters. Input range, use checkbox labels in the first row. In this case, we can highlight our diapason, included columns headers. So our data is grouped by columns vertically, like this. And what we have to see as output, we have to specify output range at the same sheet, and we can calculate all these options, summary statistics and all of this, kurtosis and largest and smallest. So let's specify our input diapason. Allocate cursor here and select our data columns, including headers, because we already use this checkbox. Specify diapason like this. Check if it's correct. C3 by E13. E13 it's correct. Let's try to calculate it. And don't forget to specify output range. Click cursor here and specify output range like this by clicking here, H1, and try to calculate. Great, it's calculate automatically. So first of all, these values, let's check out, let's verify the result. For example, we have calculated values for hemoglobin, and it should be the same, this one and this one. If it's the same, it's correct. Save your file and move to next task. It's your individual task, but pay attention. In this case, your data grouped horizontally as rows. I'll show you how to perform this. So we can create similar, exactly the same table as described. So first of all, let's count, in my case, 1, 2, 3, 7 columns, 8 columns. One, two, three, 4. In general, there is good practice to perform it in a new worksheet. Let's change a title, for example, task number 1, 2, 3, and create new worksheet and change a title, for example, task number 4, and click enter to apply. So select, navigate to the home and select 8 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we can mark is temporary like this. But it's not correct, as you can see, because we have to separate this one. Ctrl Z to undo. It's very useful function. If you have performed something wrong, you can use Ctrl Z to undo your last operation. So let's select this diapason. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because we have 7 records. Use merge and center and copy this title. Ctrl C, double click, Ctrl V, and merge this value. Select this diapason, merge it, and copy this content. Ctrl C, double click, Ctrl V, enter. And we can increase a space to avoid overlapping, like this. Snap column border and drag it down. So let's specify our record numbers of scope. 1 right arrow, 2 right arrow, 3, and so on. 5, 6, and 7. And we can center it vertically and horizontally, like this, and make it bold like this. And all of this diapason we can make a bold. And after that we can insert variable numbers like this. Double click, Ctrl V, enter to apply, and increase diapason like this. And the same for another variable. Double click, Ctrl V, and select and make it bold. And after that we can specify these values. Like this. And we can prettify our table. Select all of these, right click, format cells, make outer border, outline, and make inside like this, and click OK to apply. So next requirements, we have to calculate these values: mean, range, and coefficient of skewness. As you remember, to calculate range we have to calculate another two options, maximal and minimal value. And there is good feature, we can nest one function into another. I will show you. So let's make a title, minimal value, mean value, it's average. It's the same as ordinary algebraic average value. Mean, range, and skewness, like this. And we have to calculate each of value for both of these columns. We have the first data set and another data set for appropriate variables. So let's calculate mean value as described previously. To calculate mean value we can use built-in function average. It's the same. Equal sign, average, brackets, allocate cursor inside the brackets, and select appropriate diapason for the first variable, and click enter to apply, and propagate it down to automatically calculate the same value for this diapason. It's easy, yes. So calculate and range. As you remember, we have to calculate it by maximal value minus minimal value. There is very useful feature. We can nest our functions one inside other. So allocate cursor here and start typing our equation. Equal sign, maximal value. Please switch off your microphones, turn off it, and select appropriate diapason, and continue typing, minus minimal value. Like this. And select the same diapason. Okay, as you can see, both of these functions use the same diapason. And click enter to apply and calculate. And propagate it down to calculate it for both variables. And similar to the skewness, we have skewness, skew, built-in function, equal sign, function name, brackets, allocate cursor inside the brackets, select appropriate diapason of necessary, click enter, and propagate it down. Like this. And that's all. Good luck.